The 10th edition of the 2019 Global Corruption Barometer for Africa showed that more than 1 in 4 people, about 130 million citizens, who accessed public services such as healthcare and education, paid a bribe in the previous year. The African Union estimates that 25% of Africa's gross domestic product is lost in corruption. Zimbabwe is no exception to the scourge of corruption. In recent years, the country has consistently performed poorly on the Global Corruption Barometer and the Corruption Perception Index (CPI). Zimbabwe was ranked as one of the most corrupt in the world with a score of 23 out of 100 in the 2021 Corruption Perception Index. Furthermore, Transparency International Zimbabwe (TIZ) has noted a rise in systematic corruption in many public institutions, contributing to poor service delivery. Following an increase in reports of public sector corruption, Transparency International Zimbabwe was motivated to commission a National Bribes Payers Index study in 2021. The aim of this study was to assess citizens' perceptions and experiences on corruption in all sectors of government. It focused on the interaction between ordinary Zimbabwean citizens and officials from selected public sector institutions such as government ministries, agencies, parastatals, and local government. The survey covered 10 provinces, reaching out to 2,583 respondents in both rural and urban areas. The survey specifically focused on questions relating to the frequency of bribe-seeking behavior by public officials, the number of people that paid bribes to access services in the public sector, the average amount of money spent on bribes by individuals, implications and consequences of bribe refusals, and whether government is doing enough to combat bribery and corruption in general. Among the respondents surveyed, 54.4% indicated that they have been asked to pay a bribe within the last 12 months. The majority of the respondents, 76.7%, believe that bribery as a form of corruption has been on the increase in the past 3 years in Zimbabwe, while 13.4% were not so sure that corruption may have increased over the past few years. One Bulawayo resident stated that most institutions now request a bribe for you to get a service, which is now the norm. 52.9% of respondents, when asked, admitted to having paid a bribe to public sector officials in the past 12 months. Respondents were asked to indicate how much they paid towards bribes. 38% indicated that their bribes payments ranged from $1 to $10, while 31.7% specified that their bribes payments ranged from $11 to $50. 19.7% reported that they paid bribes ranging from $51 to $100, and 9.4% reported that their paid bribes ranged from $101 to $501. About 0.2% of the participants indicated that they had paid bribes for more than $500. The findings show that most citizens are losing an average of 10% of their monthly disposable income to bribery as they seek various services. A majority, 85.5%, indicated that they had never paid non-monetary bribes, while 9.8% indicated that they had paid non-monetary bribes to public officials. Non-monetary bribes mentioned included such things as sexual favors, food, gold, returning a favor in kind, or agreeing to join a political party, among others. 49.2% of respondents indicated that they paid a bribe before accessing a service, and 38.6% said they paid a bribe after they were convinced that they would not get the service if they didn't pay. About 29% of the respondents indicated that some public officials asked for the bribes directly from them, while 21.3% indicated that they offered the bribes themselves due to pressing circumstances. Respondents were asked to rank public service institutions in Zimbabwe which they considered to be the most corrupt. The ranking was based on a citizen experience and relations with corruption in the respective institutions. The following is a ranking of these government institutions in order of least to most corrupt. Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, 0.8%. Zimbabwe Prison Services, 0.9%. Ministry of Education, Sports and Culture, 1.8%. Ministry of Mines and Mining Development, 1.9%. Ministry of Lands, Agriculture and Rural Settlement, 2.6%. Ministry of Health and Childcare, 3.3%. Judiciary or Courts, 3.8%. Local Authorities, Urban and Rural Councils, 5.1%. ZIMRA, 6.4%. Registers Office, 15.1%. Vehicle Inspection Department, 18.9%. Zimbabwe Republic Police, 38.9%. Poor systems and abuse of authority were cited as the main issue fueling corruption. Participants who are either motorists or commuters indicated that bribe-seeking behavior was very frequent on the country's highways. They indicated that it's mostly the illegal pirate taxis, popularly known as mushikashika, that are more willing to pay bribes to the police details manning the roads in the country. The demand for bribes at the Registrar General's office is very high, with incidences noted almost on a daily basis as people apply for new passports or renewal of expired ones. Examples of the Vehicle Inspection Department, where they noted that almost everyone who intends to go for a competency test in order to get a driver's license is somehow, directly or indirectly, asked for bribes. In the education sector, participants indicated that the bribes are seasonal, usually happening towards the end of the year when parents and guardians are trying to secure school places for their children. Respondents were surveyed for their awareness of institutions mandated to deal with corruption in Zimbabwe. There is a general lack of public confidence in most institutions pivotal in the fight against corruption. About 58.9% expressed lack of confidence with the Zimbabwe Republic Police, whilst 43.1% expressed lack of confidence with the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, ZAC. It can be noted that corruption undermines the efficiency and effectiveness with which public services are discharged. The following recommendations will mitigate these effects. There is need to improve awareness of the NACS through various strategies like civic education, television adverts, workshops with citizens, among other things. There is need for continued and improved civic education in order to resist bribe payments and to utilize available platforms to report corruption. There is need for the capacitation of government departments in order to improve service delivery and accessibility of services and to improve remuneration for the civil servants. From the findings of the study, it can be concluded that corruption is rampant in Zimbabwe. In most cases, left with no choice but to participate in bribe payments, particularly the vulnerable members who often find themselves struggling to access social amenities and structures to ensure social, economic, and cultural development. Zimbabwe's pursuit of Vision 2030, upper middle income economy, and the success of the National Development Strategy NDS1 will be anchored on the existence of strong institutions that are both accountable and effective in delivering goods and services to the citizens and the world at large. This report was published by Transparency International Zimbabwe with support from the Embassy of Sweden in Harare.